When I think about hope, I think about that first generation student receiving her diploma.
When I think about hope, I think about the world becoming a better place.
Hope means to me waking up and knowing that I'm in a community that loves me and supports me.
When I think about hope, I think about a trust in our Creator and a belief in a bright future ahead of us.
I am hopeful that our women's basketball team will go even farther in the NCAA. Babies, you know I love you.
Hope is really the essential ingredient in any creative act. So at Belmont, I think that means that it's the belief that there's going to be people who are going to respond to what we're putting down and who might actually respond in a way that's going to be constructive for us.
Cultivating abounding hope is a tall order, but I don't think anybody is more capable of just that than the Belmont family.
Everyone in the Belmont community, whether that they are a student, faculty, or staff member, has something that they are hopeful or passionate about. So when we let hope abound, we get to unlock those passions.
We are people that uplift, lead, and listen to others, not only within the walls of this institution, but beyond.
I am hoping that the renewed energy that being together in community again and the arrival of Dr. Jones to Belmont reinvigorate our work and our souls.
I picture an ardent, active hope for not just successful academic endeavors, but for really meaningful community connection as well.
I'm hopeful that we will equip, inspire, and encourage you as you bring your ideas to life.
I think about dreaming those godlike dreams and dreaming big, and having an expectation that those things will happen and seeing them as if they happen.
Our expectation has to be in miracles. We've got to believe in what we cannot see. So I'm just thrilled about our expansion. And that expansion is spiritual, mental, physical, psychological, financial. We are blessed. Belmont is blessed. So I'm hopeful we remain blessed, rooted, and on course.
Wow, what wonderful testimonies. Well, good morning. Come on, you can do better than that. Good morning. All right, there you go. It's opening day. What a wonderful day, the start of school, the start of a new academic year, the opportunity for us to gather together to begin the year in an opening convocation. It's an exciting time, a wonderful time for us to be able to gather together, as Jose talked about, to be gathered back together in community despite the challenges we face. Being able to be together and teaching and learning and growing together in all sorts of curricular and non-curricular ways are really terrific. And so it's an exciting time for us here at Belmont. As the provost was talking about all the strength that we have, the wonderful new class that you all are representing, and those who are returning to Belmont to continue your studies, the additional faculty and staff, it's an exciting time. As Dr. Sibb was talking about in the video, the expansion in so many ways is a gift here at Belmont. And even with all the excitement of opening day, though, there's a part of us that's struggling because of the multiple pandemics we've been dealing with over the last 18 months, and in some of those cases of the pandemics for a lot longer than that. It's not only the COVID and the Delta variant and the uncertainties and all that we're wrestling around with that. It's the heightened attention to racial injustice in the wake of the George Floyd murders and the horrifying Atlanta murders earlier this spring that afflicted people of Asian American and Pacific Islander descent. It's ongoing struggles for Hispanic Latino people. It's the economic disruptions and the uncertainty about the future of work and jobs and where they're going to be found. The ongoing challenges of mental health. It's easy to get on our heels and to get into a reactive mode. And so the theme for this year, for my inaugural year as president, is to let hope abound. Because as people who believe that God raised Jesus from the dead and that God poured out the Holy Spirit on Pentecost, we can be people of Easter hope and Pentecostal power, not because of reading the signs of the times. If we look at the circumstances in Afghanistan, at the challenges of hospitals and dealing with COVID, at all the turmoil, or maybe even on a personal level, the anxiety you're feeling today, it might not be as easy to be optimistic, and yet we can be hopeful, not because of who we are or what's happening around us, because of who God is. And so we can let hope abound. And so we have this sense of that expansion and that growth and that forward momentum to let hope abound. One of the exciting things for Susan and me as we've become a part of the Belmont community this summer has been just discovering the infectious enthusiasm of this campus, of students and faculty and staff and alumni and parents and friends, this sense that we're all one community. You're not just here at Belmont, you're an integral part of Belmont. You've become a Bruin for life, as a student, as a faculty, as a staff, for parents, for alums, for friends, for all of us. And so we have high aspirations for the future. The aspiration that we're talking about for 2030 is to be the leading Christ-centered university in the world. Why aim low if you're focused on what God is doing in the world? When you have what Gary Hunter called godlike dreams, God-sized dreams, you're always going to aim high, and the only way in which you're going to be able to achieve those is if God blesses it and God's involved in it. It means you're going to end up leading by nausea. Because you think about, well, why would we set a bar that high? Wouldn't it be easier just to say, hey, let's be the best four-year college in this part of Nashville, east of Vanderbilt? That'd be a lot easier to achieve, and yet we have God-sized dreams. And if you think about the buildings that the provost talked about, or you think about the kinds of initiatives, how to build on strengths, we've long been known for our leadership in music and the arts, whether in the College of Music and the Performing Arts or the Curb College, Music and Entertainment Business, or the O'Moore College of Architecture and Design, the Watkins College of Art, the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. In a variety of ways, we've been known for attending to beauty and goodness and truth in powerful artistic ways. The opening of the Performing Arts Center in September gives us an opportunity to showcase the best of Belmont. It's an extraordinary facility, and even more than that is the beauty that will be conveyed not only in the architecture and the space, but also in all the performances that we'll be able to have. It's about emphasizing music and the arts. It's also about building on our strengths in health and health sciences, in the College of Pharmacy and the College of Health, Inman College of Health Sciences and Nursing, and now with the development of the new Frist College of Medicine, and the intersections that happen all across campus in all of our 13 colleges that attend to the social determinants of health, and all the ways in which we can work together. The existence of the store that alumnus Brad Paisley and his wife Kimberly Williams Paisley helped to develop to help food insecure people, and the wraparound services of that, to emphasize health and to work on that across all of our colleges is an extraordinary opportunity for us to be known as a place that prepares people for vocations in healthcare traditionally understood and in other arenas where health is promoted in different vocations. And then, as we announced last week, we're building on traditional strengths by also developing a new initiative, a data collaborative. We brought Charlie Apigian over from Middle Tennessee State to be our executive director, a collaborative that'll exist all across campus, across all of our schools, because of the role that data is increasingly playing, not only in technology and science, it's playing that in music and the arts and in business and in any vocation. If you want to be a pastor, or if you want to be a teacher or scientist, an artist, whatever your vocation, data is going to play an increasing role in that. And so we're investing in faculty and staff and new initiatives to build a data collaborative, because we want to be future shaping and focused on where the world and jobs are heading. So as we build on music and the arts, and we build on health and our strengths there, we're strengthening ourselves in data and a data collaborative. And cutting across those areas, we also want to focus on character. The passage that DJ just read a few moments ago from Romans talks about suffering producing endurance, and endurance producing character, and character producing hope. Part of what it means to let hope abound is to be people of character. The ways in which that's learned and nurtured inside the classroom, as we learn in our traditional general education courses in the liberal arts and social sciences and the natural sciences, as well as we develop the habits of learning a particular profession or vocation, the kind of character that's learned on the basketball court or the volleyball court, in athletics, in performances, where you learn from failure, you learn from resilience, and you learn the habits of teamwork. We want to be a place that's known for the character of our graduates, the character of our faculty, the character of our students. We want this to be a place that's about character. We also want it to be a place where you discover purpose, both with a small p and a capital P, that North Star that can guide you into important directions going forward. And we want it to be a place where you'll develop an entrepreneurial mindset, a transformational mindset that doesn't just look at what is, looks at what might be, to help make the world a better place. Or what Elizabeth Gortmaker talked about is equipping and inspiring and encouraging you to discover that purpose and that opportunity that will enable transformation through an entrepreneurial mindset. Not only, although it's a great opportunity in the Massey College of Business, it's also in other arenas. To have that entrepreneurial mindset in whatever vocation you go to can be a great gift to help reweave the social fabric, to help us become hope-inspiring, character-forming, future-shaping, community-engaging, and bridge-building people. We have high aspirations for Belmont, not just in a traditional institutional sense, but because we believe that's what God is calling us to do and to be. And we're all better off when we build each other up and when we strengthen us and when we let hope abound. As we let hope abound, though, that term, I love it, let, can also, what's a permission-granting experience, unfortunately can also sound like we're going to let others do it. Can be passive. Well, let hope abound. Somebody else can take care of that. For myself, I'm going to be cynical. What I want to ask you today is to become an agent of hope. It's the best way to let hope abound is not just to wait for others to do it. It's to us to take agency, to take responsibility, to be an agent of hope that infects your neighbor, that infects your class, that infects others around you with a sense of hopefulness that inspires them to become better people. To be an agent of hope is to say, everywhere I go, I want people to discover that sense of hope, that disciplined joy of life that can happen even on a bad day. You can be an agent of hope even when you're struggling on the inside. And you know what? When you're an agent of hope, you might even discover that it helps you recalibrate your own emotions and thoughts and dreams. I want to highlight briefly a few Belmont affiliated people who are agents of hope, not to single them out, rather to suggest that these are the kinds of people who are attainable exemplars, who we can learn from, be inspired by as we become agents of hope ourselves. Ryan Reisdorf came to Belmont to study nursing. As a person with diabetes, he wanted to learn about healthy eating and nutrition. And so he started a new initiative called Placemat that provides opportunities to cook healthy food in homes or kitchens of choice. He started Placemat, has now 21 employees, 7 of whom are Belmont grads. And over the last year, during the COVID lockdown and the struggles of COVID, he's given away over 80,000 meals to support people in the Nashville community. He's going to be an entrepreneur in residence with us. He was a student at Belmont in the nursing school, and he became an agent of hope and continues to do so through his experience at Belmont to benefit others. José Gonzáles, whom you saw in the video, is a person who spreads that sorts of hope both through his teaching on campus and as a social entrepreneur who started Conexión Americas to help people of Latino and Hispanic descent discover a sense of belonging in Nashville. And through Conexión Americas, under his leadership, more than $25 million in mortgage loans have been made available to Hispanic folks. And more than 500 people have been equipped and trained for new jobs and opportunities. It's both on campus and in the Nashville community that our faculty and staff are engaged in extraordinary ways. And José is an agent of hope in all that he is and all that he does. Beverley Alleyne is a person known around campus, both for helping students deal with that challenging subject of accounting. Truth be told, accounting was one of the reasons I switched from the for-profit to the non-for-profit side of business school when I was in graduate school. I thought, this isn't really for me. I didn't have a Beverley Alleyne to help me navigate and get through it. She's just known for coming alongside and encouraging and pouring into students, writing notes, encouraging you can get through this and you can excel and you can succeed and you can achieve your dreams in business or as an accountant in particular. She's an exemplar of what a lot of our faculty and staff do in coming alongside each other and students, pouring ourselves in to inspire that sense of hope that says you can get through the dark days, the difficult days, because the future is bright. José and Beverley are examples of the kind of faculty who are agents of hope. When you think about Betty Wiseman, the founder of our women's basketball program, a person who's just infectious with a love of God. In addition to founding the women's basketball program and all that happened through her, she also started mission trips through athletics. And student athletes have gone on lots of mission trips in Europe and Central America and all around the world. And as one of our student athletes said, B-Dub, as she's known affectionately, B-Dub changed my life, and she helped me glimpse what it means to be a good person. When you're around Betty Wiseman, you want to become a better person too. Tommy Rhodes is an alumnus of Belmont. He grew up in a Japanese-American family in a small town. He encountered prejudice and racism. He came to Belmont thinking he was headed down one vocation. Instead, he ended up sensing a calling from God to start a camp called Barefoot Republic that brings children from diverse socioeconomic and racial and ethnic backgrounds together to spend time in camp, to learn from diverse backgrounds and perspectives how to embrace and love one another. When he was interviewed on Nightline, he had a simple witness. He said, we're radically Christ-centered because Christ calls us to reconciliation. He's a bridge builder. He's a community engager. He took what he got from his upbringing, mixed it together with what it means to be a student and a part of the Belmont community, and he's become an agent of hope. These are simply exemplars of what it means to be an agent of hope. You can be an agent of hope. I can be an agent of hope. We all can be an agent of hope, whether it's in small ways, bearing the fruit of the Spirit in our daily life, or in large ways and starting new initiatives and teaming with others to accomplish God-sized dreams. There's one other exemplar that I want to lift up to you. It's a woman that Susan and I have become friends with over the years. She's an extraordinary woman who survived the genocide in Burundi. She had to watch as a number of her family and friends were killed in the midst of the Burundian civil war. Her name's Maggie Barankitse. I won't tell you her full story. It's an extraordinary story. What I will tell you is that she has been an agent of hope in extraordinary ways, transforming people's lives, a social entrepreneur who's adapted to ongoing conflicts and struggles. And here's how she has been an agent of hope for me. We were together traveling in a car. I was driving, and I knew she prays for an hour every afternoon. And I was wanting to improve my prayer life, and I said, Maggie, what do you do when you pray each afternoon for that hour? And she said, well, I mostly listen to God. My heart kind of sagged because I was wanting a technique that could help. If I pray for an hour, I usually fall asleep about 10 minutes in. She could tell I was disappointed, and she said, well, there is one prayer I pray every morning. Maybe that would help. I said, could you share that with me? And she said, I don't know how it'd sound in English. I said, well, could you try it in English? Because your English is better than my Kirundi, her first language, or French, her second language. She paused for a moment, then she said, it would go something like this. She said, Lord, let your miracles break forth every day, and let me not be an obstacle in any way. I said, Maggie, that's pretty good in English. When you hear Dr. Sib on that video say that we want to expect miracles, I couldn't agree more. And that's what Maggie prays every morning. Here at Belmont, let's be agents of hope, expecting to see a miracle break forth every day. And part of what it means to be an agent of hope is not to be an obstacle in any way. So as we celebrate opening day, I ask you, I challenge you to be an agent of hope. Let miracles break forth, and let's not be obstacles. Let's be assets to hopefulness.